Everybody, this is Franco, and got a quick update for you here on the WorkBee CNC router. I promised a friend of mine that I would have motors turning on this thing tonight, and so here we are. This is the video where I'm going to do that. I have a very shaky wiring job here on the bench. This is completely bench test-esque. There's nothing permanent about this, but it's good enough to demonstrate the point. Usually I get all bent out of shape about mounting things in enclosures, and you may have heard me say that before. It's like one of the most difficult things for me is finding enclosures to put all the stuff in. So rather than mess around with that, I literally have just double-sided taped a few things to a piece of wood here and to make it go. So what do we have here? We have the new Acorn 4 board that's been recently released. This thing's great. Love it. Have the latest and greatest relay board that comes with it. So love this thing too. They updated the relay board, so the screw down terminals are, they're modular. They plug in, pop in and out, just like the connectors on the Acorn 4. So if for some reason you you burn up one of your relays or something like that, for a couple of dollars you can buy a whole new board, and in like 5 minutes you can just unplug things, plug in the new board, and off you go. So this is cool. Love this. This is awesome. Over here I've got the dual voltage 24 5-volt power supply that comes with the Acorn. I have a 24-volt DC switching power supply, and I have what are probably the absolute cheapest stepper motor drivers you can buy. I'll bet you I have all of, like, I don't know, $20 or $25 invested in all 4 of these drivers. These are the TB6560 based stepper drivers, and they are for open loop, right? Because I'm using open loop motors that came with the WorkBee kit. But these things are as cheap as it gets, right? Like, you can't really, it's hard to buy something less expensive than these TB6560s. And what I did is I just, I bought 4 of them and double-sided taped them here to this little piece of wood. But I can tell you this, so this is my opinion. There's people out there that will debate this with me, but if you're running motors that are 3 amps or less and you're not running closed loop, it's really hard to beat these TB6560 drivers. Now, personally, I prefer to put closed loop motors on all my projects, and actually that's what's on my milling machine, and that's what's on my little lathe. But I wanted to use or at least start out with the motors that came with the WorkBee kit, and these are just the cheap little NEMA 23 open loop steppers that, came with that kit. So that's what I'm using. So I figured, hey, let's get some cheap little TB6560 drivers to run them, and that's what I have in here. And they are set. I don't know if you can see the settings, but I have them set to run at, okay, switch 1, 2, and 3. That's these switches right here, switch 1, 2, and 3. So I am, what am I? I'm off and off, off. Oh no, I'm sorry. I'm on, off. So yeah. So the setting is SW1, 2, 3, and S1. Should be on, off. And that's what we have here. On, off. And then 2 and 3. Switch 2. I am on, so it's going to use 20% of holding current. And then switch 3 and 4, I am on on. So, oh yeah, okay. Switch 3 and 4, that's your microstepping mode. So right now 3 and 4 are all both on. So I'm in 1/8 microstepping. So it's, what that means is 200 times 8. So full stepping mode would be 200 pulses per revolution, then multiply that by 8, so I got 1600 pulses per revolution. So I'm doing some pretty fine micro stepping. And then finally switches 5 and 6. I am both off. So that's your decay setting. I'm at 0%. And I'll be honest with you, I don't really totally understand the decay setting on these things. I know it's like if you have noisy drives or something weird's happening, you can play with the decay setting. So I don't normally mess with it at 0. The motors aren't humming. They're working fine. So yeah, so we're micro stepping, 1600 pulses per rev. And then these lead screws are 8mm pitch lead screws. So that means there's 3.175 revolutions per inch. So basically 1600 times 3.175. So what's that? Let's see, man, I just cannot get this thing to focus tonight. 1600 times 3.175 equals 5080. So 1 divided by 5080. There you go. So that's right now that's my smallest programmable unit. So it's like 2/10. So that's pretty small. That ain't too bad. I believe that's right. I don't know. It's hard to do the math here while I'm holding the camera, but right? So let's just double check that. So 25.4 divided by 8. Yeah, 3.175 revolutions per inch times 1600, 5080. 1 divided by 5080. Yeah, that's right. So at this configuration, my smallest movement that I can make is about 2/10. So that's pretty fine. That's finer than I think this router needs to be. And we could probably mess with that later when I have more time. Right now I have the maximum rapid set to 100 inches. And yeah, let's see if I can jog this thing here. Put this on x-axis. So that's 100 inches a minute. It's working great. Z-axis is working well also. You know, it's all good stuff. It's awesome. And yeah, I'm running this through the new version of CNC 12 version 14. This is CNC 12 version 14, and this software is, I mean, I thought it was great before, but they just keep making it better and better. Now the wizard is built right into the built right into the application itself. Before you ran the wizard as a separate application, and this is great. They keep making it easier and easier to set up your machine. So this screen, you know, you've seen it before. You set up your inputs, you set up your outputs. In many cases, you might be fortunate enough to just click one of these pre-configured settings, and bang, everything will go. This screen is where you set up your axes, your steps per evolution. That's from my driver settings. Turns, that's from my lead screws. Here's where you set up your max jog rate, slow jog, acceleration, deceleration. I don't know my backlash yet, so I have that all set to 0. If you need to reverse your axes, you do that right here. Your jog increment, like your small jog increment, you set that there. Homing and travel limits, this is where you set your travel limits and tell the software how you want to home. Axis pairing, right? This is a router, so I'm pairing the 4th axis, so it says, it's easy. I just say axis 4 paired to axis 2. right? So axis 4 is paired to axis 2, my Y. I really like this. This is awesome. I don't have limit switches or anything, so I have it set to manual axis squaring alignment, which is fine for me right now. Advanced. This is where you can invert your signals if you need to. I had to invert all my enable signals. This is where you set the step rate. I have it set to 100,000 because I don't think the TV6560s are super fast step drivers, so we'll pick the lower setting. Spindle, I don't have a spindle yet, so nothing to do there. Probe, nothing to change there. Tool touch off, don't have anything set up, but I'll get to that eventually. Input devices, yes, I have a touch screen. No, I don't have a USB control pad. I want the virtual control panel on. That's the thing that shows up on the right side of the screen. Wireless MPG, I do have one. It's awesome. I highly recommend it. Quick response. This is where you program your macros. I haven't set any of those up yet. DB25, this is really cool. So there's a DB25 port on your Acorn board. I have it turned off right now, and you can see the graphic is showing me I'm using all the screw terminals. But if I turned on the, if I put it on DB25 port, see the graphic changes. Now it shows you the pinouts. And then you can custom map the pinouts on your DB25 port. So there's, Acorn board's pretty flexible board. You can use it like literally like its own breakout board, or you can go into a DB25. It's pretty cool. CNC control, now we have a whole bunch of options here with the way the display works on the control. So this is nice. And then wizard, you can set up some default settings here for the wizard. And I have my wizard, when I open it up, I want it to be on the top application. So anyway, I'm not going to write any of those settings, but anyway, this is cool. This is really, really, really nice addition to the software. So you can change a lot of these settings, or all of these settings right here in the wizard. Some of them do require the board to be powered off and power cycled, but it will tell you when it wants that. So one of my favorite things about the Acorn, I really like the way the CNC12 software interacts with the hardware. So pretty much as long as you answer the questions and do what you need to do there on the software takes care of the board. Like, there's always a complaint with other systems that I've used. You had to become an expert on the hardware, you had to become an expert on all their plugins and all their stuff, and then you had to figure out how all their software and all their plugins worked with like Mach 3 or Mach 4. Very frustrating. Felt like I was constantly downloading updates, and I don't know, I was getting sick of that. But I love the way the hardware and the software work together with the Centroid product. So yeah, let's make this thing move. Got my computer's kind of far away from the router right now, but whatever. So all right, so let's put this thing. Let's see here. Get this thing in a position. Here we go. Yeah, so we'll do that. And okay. Now, let's see. G2, we gotta find the right one. So this one, yeah. We'll just make it cut a big, so G2, back where we started. Yeah, let's do that. And there you go. It moves. It's alive. Love it. I have soft limit set up, so it should, just see here. There we go. I can try to crash it, but it won't let me do it. Let's see here. There we go. So right now I have my limits set for 30 inches. So right now it went to 29.998, which makes sense because my smallest increments, they're around 2/10. So it's doing a little bit of math. It's getting as close to 30 inches as it can. But yeah, soft limits work. I like it. Z should be set up. Actually, I gotta look. I don't even remember what I set it to 4 inches. There you go. And yeah, it looks about right. So everything's cool. It's working. Like it. The slaved motors back here are doing exactly what they're supposed to do. And yeah, all good stuff. All right, I feel like I'm starting to ramble here a little bit, so I'm going to cut this video off right here. And next video, maybe I'll be a little more organized in explaining what I'm doing. But I wanted to throw this one up here quick, so just so we could see this thing moving. So we'll try to put a little more time into it. I guess I have to find a spindle or something now for this thing. All right, well, thanks for watching. I hope that was at least moderately entertaining. And if you have any questions, please don't hesitate to leave a comment. All right, thanks a lot. So long.